But before we wrap up this episode, I wanted to go ahead and play the small interview that we had with Kelvin Plomer over at Jagex. And it's just a little short interview, but it's pretty informative because he talks a lot about the direction of RuneScape and Jagex for the community. So here is that interview. This week we have a very special guest from Jagex. We have Mr. Kelvin Plomer, the Community Management Team Manager at Jagex. How you doing there, Kelvin?
Yeah, great, thank you.
Yeah, we're really pleased to have you here on the episode today. We're going to talk about RuneScape, of course. We're going to talk about the new kind of community push that Jagex is doing for RuneScape. And so we're really happy to have you here on the show. And we just wanted to kind of start out giving a little bit of a background on you yourself. So could you tell me mainly a little bit about your background and how you got your role at Jagex?
Yeah, certainly. Well, I've actually been with Jagex for nearly 5 years now. I joined in player support when we had about 50 people in the company. We now have about 350 people in the company, so it's been pretty exciting to grow with the success of RuneScape over the last few years. So what I did was I brought some customer support experience into the company, and I created originally the community management team, the investigation teams, and I now focus entirely on community management and community building. And we actually do that across 9 languages, including English.
Wow. So what are those other languages?
Good question. There we go. Test my memory now. Well, we have Brazilian Portuguese, we have French, we have German, and then within the English language game, we have a lot of vibrant language communities that we also support and help to build. So we have Scandinavian languages, Finnish, Swedish, Danish, and we also, I think, Polish, and I'm just trying to remember 1 or 2 more. French, I'm not sure if I mentioned that.
Cool. Yeah, that must be pretty difficult to keep track, and keep ahead of all of that, I imagine. So I guess kind of delving deeper into that, could you explain a little bit more about your position specifically? Yes,
certainly. I am responsible for the community management strategy across all of Jagex games. Obviously, the largest of those is RuneScape, and that takes up the lion's share of my time. What that kind of means in English is that we're really looking to put players at the heart of everything that we do, whether that's recruiting volunteer moderators to help us in-game, whether that's moderating the forums, providing update support for any game content, and really looking at kind of the player suggestions, player feedback, channeling that back to the content teams, and trying to get a consistent message back to our players that we're listening, we're taking their feedback on board, and that we really value their opinion. And I suppose, for us as well, and this is a big thing since Mark Gahard became Chief Executive earlier on this year, it's really about trying to identify communities within the game and then looking at ways that we can proactively build those communities with our players.
Mm-hmm. So I guess Mark has pretty much given this new direction to focus mainly on the community. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, definitely. I think when he became CEO earlier on this year, one of his big points was to place the community right at the heart of what we're doing. And that the sort of timing was great for me because we're sort of moving into the community management position just after that. I pretty much had carte blanche to build the team up even more and expand our community management team and the areas that we're working in across a whole load of extra areas. So we've pretty much doubled the team since then. We've got around 40 chaps devoted to community management. It's about 10% of our entire staff of the company. So I think you can kind of see from that it's a really kind of strong message that we're very, very keen on supporting our communities.
Right. So I guess going forward from that, what about the future of the RuneScape community team? I mean, how will this focus evolve?
Okay. I think we're obviously looking to grow the language support even more, especially as we're looking to expand the game in places like Brazil and India as well. So beyond that, it's really about sort of building on some of the successes of last year. We ran a terrific Machinima YouTube competition, and I think the winner of that competition had nearly 600,000 views. And our YouTube channel now has about 27,000 subscribers. So we're looking at other kind of cool things we can do with our YouTube channel, potentially a new Machinima competition next year as well. There's a whole lot more we need to do on competitions, looking at tying them into game updates, etc. And then I think the other things that we've done quite successfully this year, but we still need to do more of, is direct communication with our players. So we do regular Q&A sessions on our forums. We've extended already support and communication to fan sites, and we're looking really to kind of build on those relationships in 2010. Great.
I guess to get specific, there was recently a story about Jagex's zero-tolerance stance against cybercrime, and there was this arrest of a UK man for stealing accounts in the game. And this has been, of course, quite a positive mark for the support and community teams at Jagex. But what can you tell us about this proactive collaboration with law enforcement on serious issues like this?
I think the first point to make really is that we take the safety and enjoyment of our RuneScape players of paramount importance to us. We actually have quite a long track record of taking a stance against anyone that's set on cheating, on stealing accounts. And a lot of that, I think, historically has been quite under the radar. I'm not sure our players or even the media particularly knew too much about what we did, and we just did it behind closed doors and got on and done it. I think what we've kind of realised now is we actually want our players to recognise and know that we take it extremely seriously, and something like someone stealing someone's account, it's a breach of UK law, it's a breach of United States law. Individuals spend a huge amount of time and effort in their accounts, and we're really keen to protect them in any way that we can. So we've spent many hours identifying a handful of individuals who are responsible for the vast majority of account theft. And then we've worked extremely closely with the Police Central E-Crime Unit here in the UK. We're also working with the FBI in the United States to bring these handful of people to account and really just send that strong message that we're not going to stand for it.
Mm-hmm. Did you find it hard to get the law enforcement's, collaboration on that? Was it an easy marriage between you and them, or did you have to do some convincing?
No, certainly with the Police Central E-Crime Unit here in the UK, we were extremely pleasantly surprised at how kind of positively they responded to our overtures. We contacted them. We said, we feel this is in contravention of UK law, and we obviously talked to them about the types of information we could provide them with to build a case. So actually, it's been a very, very close cooperation with them, and we're very pleased about that.
We had some recent news also of the kind of restructuring of Mexscape and how it was closed down to kind of refocus everything and start over. What can you tell me about that?
I can't give you too much information on that, but certainly I can confirm pretty much, I think, what you talked about in a previous podcast, based on our announcement that pretty much we decided to put a stop to the Runescape game that we had been working on for quite some time, and to actually build a new game. The reason that we did that was that even though we could potentially have released the game because it was in a finished state, it wasn't right. We want to produce excellent games that are great for gamers, and we really felt that the game at that point wouldn't deliver on that for our players. We've got our reputation ahead of us, and we actually want to ensure that we produce games that people want to play. So it wasn't right. We decided to hold off on it, and when it is right, we will release it. And I want to thank you, actually, because I think on your previous podcast, you sort of gave us credit for making that right call. Mm-hmm. And, it certainly wasn't an easy one, but we felt it was the right thing to do.
Great. Yeah, it's good to know you listen to the podcast, too. All right. Well, was there anything else you wanted to mention?
You can tell everyone I love working for Jagex if you like. Cool.
I'll be sure to pass that along.
Okay, great.
All right. Thanks so much, Kelvin, for joining us.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So that was the interview with Kelvin Plomer. I hope you all enjoyed that.